I think we're all obsessed right now with coronavirus for obvious reasons. I saw somebody post yesterday on social media. Can anybody tell me any other news besides corona? Sitting over here with a family in voluntary self-quarantine is a very unique experience. And some people are so negative about this. And they say we're going to run out of resources and the world markets are going to collapse and they're not going to find a cure. And who knows how many people are going to succumb. Other people are so optimistic. They say, wonderful time just to reset the world and remind us of what's really important, get back to basics, spend time with our families. And look, already in China, they've turned the corner and they will come up with a vaccine or a treatment in Israel and everything's going to be good. What's fascinating for me is that the Talmud says before Mashiach comes, there's going to be all these dire things that would happen. They speak about a financial collapse. They speak about a social structural collapse. They speak about the governments failing. And what's interesting is, for some reason, we look around and we say, I think the world has failed us. I think humanity has failed us. They promised us that we had eradicated all dread diseases from the world, and those that we hadn't yet eradicated, the great epidemics of the past, we were working on cures, and every few months there's a cure for another form of cancer, or there's some development in some area. We have mass vaccination programs, so we'd never really see measles again, and they're getting rid of malaria, and everything's going to be wonderful. And they promised us that with technology and robotics and AI, we're going to be able to solve all kinds of manufacturing problems, and we'll be able to do things in a far faster way than ever before and much more efficiently. And they promised us that today, because we live in a global village, everybody cooperates better and we can achieve better. And they keep promising us that humanity has reached the apex of our abilities. We've reached interstellar space and we've decoded human DNA and we can do anything. And we trusted them and we believed them. We thought that the only thing we ever had to worry about was greenhouse emissions and perhaps the possibility of climate change, but never a little microbe. And now it's happened and the world is grinded to a halt because of something tiny, microscopic, and some people might argue something we should have been able to control. And what do? We go right back and put our trust right back into those same humans. And when they tell us we're working on a cure, we believe them. And when they tell us that these are the protocols that are going to solve the problem, we believe them. And we just put our trust right back into people. And the Talmud says that before Mashiach comes, when you see all this collapse, it uses one phrase, Al mi lanu lehishain ela al Avinu shebashamayim, that this is a reminder to only trust only one, like the dollar bill says. The only one to trust is our Father in heaven, the only one who absolutely controls the world. This is not a time simply to talk about how things are going to be and life will never be the same, and this is the 9/11 of the 21st century, and we're going to see a whole change in how the world works and leave it at that. This is an incredible opportunity for us to remind ourselves that with all human achievement, we can only rely on our Father in heaven. Hashem is in control. It's a time to connect. It's a time to speak to Hashem. It's a time to daven. It's a time to learn Torah. It's a time to do more mitzvahs. I remember people are talking about it a lot, that the Rebbe spoke about having a unity Torah, that everybody owns a letter in that Torah, so that we create virtual unity at a time of physical separation. These are the things that we should be focused on now, and every single one of us needs to daven that the world becomes a better place in the way Hashem devised it with the coming of Mashiach. Please God, may that be the unfolding of this pandemic.